Welcome, everyone. What a beautiful group. Come in, come in, come in. Cameras on if you can. We want to
Welcome.
see your beautiful faces. Look at this great group. You
Hello.
love it, Allison?
Oh my gosh. Hi, Lisa. So good to see so many beautiful souls coming in today.
Oh,
Hello, hello.
this is so fun. I'm always curious when we do these events, and we'll do introductions in just a minute, but I know something spoke to you about being here today. And I would love to hear, just as we kick off, and before we even get into any training, I can tell you what you learned today will transform the course of your life, not just this next year, but your entire life. We are on such an upward trajectory, a fast moving trajectory, which beautiful timing with Year of the Horse. For those of you who have been following that and that energy, I mean, there's no mistake that this is coming to you now. But for those of you who are here live, we would love to hear in the chat what spoke to you about today. What is it about this message, this idea of creating ease and abundance with AI that drew you into this message? I know we've got some past cohort members as well. So you're back for more. You're excited for growth and expansion. But again, we would just love to see from you in the chat. What are you here for? What are you excited for? If you could shift one thing today as a result of being here in your life, in your business, what would that be? So we'll give everyone a minute to type in there and share. And then if you're watching the replay of this, I want you to just really get present with that question for yourself. I think when we attend events like this, the energy you bring to it will determine what you get out of it. So, what I want to invite you to do, I know in a digital world, it's so easy to be like, I'm multitasking, I'm doing other things, I'm here. I want to invite you to get maximum impact from this time and to be fully, fully present. Camera on if you can, present, close out other windows. Again, this information, not only will you know more than probably most people in your sphere about what's happening, what's coming, if you implement even just what you learned today, we're going to be sharing some exciting new opportunities today too. But if you implement just what you learn, it really does have the ability to change your life today. So we'll do introductions in a minute, but Allison, I just want to open it up for you. Are you excited? I'm so excited. I know this is going to be so good.
I like woke up literally before my alarm this morning and was like, today's the day. I cannot wait. I'm so excited. And I would also say, if any of you do not have like a notebook or something with you, you're going to want to get one because in these trainings and in these lessons, you're going to be fast and furious writing notes, collecting the information that we're sharing. So go ahead and grab your notebook and just get ready to learn so much in a very short amount of time today. I feel like it's going to be really, really powerful. So, yeah, it's so fun to see everyone popping in here too.
So type a one in the chat if this is not your first She Sells training, if you're either part of our community or you've been on other trainings before. I know we've got a lot of, look at this. Look how beautiful this is. Amy, happy belated birthday. So good to see you all. Oh, Christina, hi, hi, hi. And if this is your first, type it, or excuse me, if this is your first, type a two in the chat. We're excited. Look at this. Look at these beautiful souls coming in. Well, welcome. Here's what I know. You're in the right place regardless. You were in the right place regardless. So I already shared a little bit of the energy of today. And again, I want to give you all a moment just to type in the chat your intention for today. But as you do that, here's what I will say. Allison's going to be doing a lot of teaching today. I'll be doing some teaching on wealth consciousness, which I'm really excited for. And then Allison's going to be sharing what's new, what's coming, and how she personally has stepped into really powerful time and wealth expansion in her life using AI. So she's going to be leading a lot of that. What always makes me laugh, so this is the third time we've led a class like this. What always makes me laugh is if you had asked me, I would say 2 years ago, if I would ever be hosting a class on AI, I would say, absolutely not. Like that's the last thing I want to talk about, lead a class about. Like it felt it felt very masculine, not in a bad way, but just in a way where I was like, ugh, like I love wealth consciousness. I love all things mindset. I love sales, expansion, abundance. AI, no. But I'll tell you, I'll tell you how we got here, and a little bit of the background. But if we have not yet connected, my name is Elise. I am the founder and CEO of She Sells and Superhuman Selling. And my background has been in helping individuals quantum leap their sales, their income, and their life. My personal story, and I'll share it just very, very briefly because we got a lot to cover today. But I spent over 10 years in corporate sales, powerhouse sales producer, grinding, hustling, doing the thing, kind of built the life I thought I was supposed to build on the outside that I thought would look good to everyone else and that I was supposed to, and found myself in my late 20s, again, having built the life I thought I should, but overwhelmed, anxiety, eating disorders, panic attacks, thinking there's got to be a different way. I went on a personal journey, started studying wealth consciousness, spirituality in business, abundance. And in a period of 6 weeks of implementing what I learned, went from being stuck at the same income level for over 10 years, no matter how hard I worked, to 10xing, turning my annual income into my monthly income. It was not by working harder. This is so important. And that's part of what I love about this material we're going to bring to you today is it's a fusion of wealth energetics. I'm going to teach you what I learned in that period to 10x and to continue to quantum leap my income in feminine energy. With Allison teaching some of the AI structure that will help you quantum leap even faster than I did back then. It's so powerful. So I love teaching and helping support others in quantum leaping their income in their life. Outside of my company and what I do, I am a mom of 3 kids, 5 and under, run a multi-million dollar business, working part-time hours. Retired my husband from medical school or from his job previously so he could pursue his dream of medical school. And I say all of that to say I was a woman who did not think things like that were possible for me until I learned this material. I thought that's special, that's for others, that's not for me. 100% not the case. Anyone can quantum leap if you want and if you're ready. And that's part of what we're here to help you do today and moving forward. And there's so many beautiful stories in the community. You'll hear some today of others who have done so. Allison is a beautiful example of someone else who has done so. And so, Allison, I want to turn it over to you to introduce yourself for anyone who's not yet familiar with you and to start to share your brilliance with the group.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Elise. And it is so good to see so many of you here live. And if you're watching the recording, the love is being sent to you as well. But I decided to be an entrepreneur in 2020 during the middle of the pandemic. And I started hustling and grinding and pushing and working 12 hours a day, like many of us do when we step into the entrepreneur world. And I remember watching a Instagram video of Elise doing something very different on her Instagram. And she was resting and relaxing and talking about feminine wealth and feminine energetics. And probably like many of you who came into this call today, I was curious. I'm like, okay, if there can be a different way to run my business, to have time freedom, to feel and be abundant, then I want to know. I want to know how to not do this while sacrificing my health, my relationships, and ultimately my time. And so that's how Elise and I started to work together about 5 years ago. And so I built a thriving coaching business. I was speaking every weekend in a different city. And about a year and a bit ago, everything really changed for me. And the reason that it did was one, I made a decision that I was not available to play small anymore. I was not available to be working the amount of time I was working. And I really dove into learning how to use AI. And so, Elise, I don't know if you want to share a little bit about what we did at the
I
consultancy.
do. I totally forgot. I got so excited about everything. I do. Yes. Thank you. Sorry, please continue. But yes, I do want to share because I think this is where everything changes.
Beautiful, beautiful. So
Okay.
this in the consultancy meeting a few years ago, actually a year ago, I was at the time using AI like every single day. This was around, yeah, 2024. And the reason why I was using AI was I had a mentor who he had been coaching me and supporting me for years. And he was working with Google, with Meta, with Apple, with Boeing, helping implement AI systems into their businesses. And he, at the time, I was running a marketing agency, speaking, consulting. He's like, Allison, sell your marketing agency. AI is coming. And I was like, I don't I don't want to hear this. I'm not really interested in that. I don't really want to change the things that I'm doing. And like many of you, I know and understand like change can feel uncomfortable, especially when it's coming from somewhere else or it's coming from the external world. So I was a little bit resistant. He's like, "No, let me show you a few things." So this was around 2022. He showed me some of this AI information I started to implement in my business. And I hosted a conference in Bermuda in 2024, and he came to speak at it, and every single person's jaw was on the floor. And he was teaching us things that we had just not seen before. And so I've been working and learning from AI for a long time, but I didn't actually realize how much I knew until I was in the room with Elise at the consultants group. So, Elise, I'll let you take it the story from there.
So this was such a beautiful moment. And what I was thinking about before we went live today is everything that I shared about some of my own personal growth and transformation up until this point was pre-AI, without. And I thought I didn't need it. I was like, I'm good. I've got this. I don't need to learn it. And then we had this beautiful meeting, like Allison said, about a year and a half ago, where we brought in, it was our first certified consultant training for our first group that we launched. And Allison was part of that cohort. I know, let's see, Christy, you were there. Mary, you were there. I don't know if I'm missing anyone. I'm just saying out the names I can see here on the first slide, but there was something that got brought up. I don't even remember exactly what it was, but Allison, you said something like, "Oh, well, you can just do that with AI." And my whole plan for the afternoon immediately shifted because you started showing the women who were there live ways that they could. I think we were working on writing out bios and doing marketing copy. And again, I don't remember exactly what it was, but what I know is in that moment, the women who were there live, who got to be part of that afternoon, and then the first and second cohort of the program that we've run here ever since there on Ease and Abundance with AI, their lives changed. And you opened up my eyes in that moment to a tool that I really wasn't using because I had limiting beliefs or resistance. Who had drop an R in the chat if you've had resistance around AI. If you're like, I know I quote unquote need to be using it, but I've got resistance. Yeah, some. I see some R's coming in. Yeah, I did too. I really did. What I will say is getting past that. And today we want to help you move past that and help it feel light, easy, like that beautiful masculine support energy to help you ascend. Oh, Laura, you were there. I see. Okay, you weren't on camera before. Beautiful. Absolutely. Laura was there too. Um, when you get past that and you learn how to use this as a tool to amplify your energy. What we have been able to do, create, produce in the company since then has been transformational. And the most important thing with it, for me at least, is the energy we do it in. So I mentioned earlier in the opening, like I am a mom of three little kids. I told Allison right before this webinar, I was picking my 2-year-old up off the floor, trying to convince him to get out of the office because he really wanted to be in here for this call. And I was like, babe, I love you. It just can't happen right now. So that is real life. That happens. And what I am so grateful for is the ability to still run a company that does multi-millions while being there with my kids. And of course, I have physical support too, but it's because of the belief systems that I've instilled that we'll teach you today and that we work with our clients on, and because of the AI that Allison teaches so brilliantly. That's why, and that's how. So, Allison, you changed my life in that moment. You changed a lot of people's lives, and you're going to change a lot of lives today with this. So, I'll
Thank
turn
you.
it back over to you. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Elise. And truly, in the last year for me, I made a decision to take back my time and take back, in a way, my life. Who here, just type a yes in the chat if you felt like your business has run your life or your work has run your life at any point in the past, currently, where your business really has been the thing that has like taken over. And I made a decision mostly because I met a man who I fell madly in love with, and he was working in a 3 by 3 schedule, he called. So he worked 3 days a week, 3 weeks of the month. And he was like, hey, I really want a partner who I can spend time with. And I would really love for us to be able to, enjoy time together. And I was like, at the time, working a 12 by 12, like 12 hours a day, 12 months of the year, no time off. And so I decided to make a change really quickly. My business was doing really well. I was speaking all the time, but with the information and the education that I learned from Elise as it relates to wealth energetics, feminine embodiment, all of the things that she was teaching, and AI, last year I doubled my income. We had our very first $1 million year, and I worked 3 days a week, 3 weeks of the month. And it was from this decision that I'm not willing to compromise. I'm not willing to negotiate. I have a desire to spend this time and to really love the work that I'm doing. And so I want to teach you today about some of these concepts. Lisa's going to teach a lot about the wealth energetics, which isn't necessary. And if you felt this energy of around AI, it's likely because you've been learning it or seeing it from a very, very masculine lens. And trust me, I have done so much education in AI from MIT, from a company called Industry Rockstar, from the Tony Robbins Platinum Program, from Peter Diamandis, Dean Graziosi, Dan Martell. All of them are incredible, incredible men in business. And there is a very different lens when you learn this information from a feminine perspective. So that's why I'm so excited that all of you are here today to learn this and to really step into your power around this topic. I would love to hear in the chat. And again, this is a vulnerable question, but we're here to share and we're here to grow. But who has had some fear around AI? Just type an F in the chat if there has been some fear. And if that has been true for you, I just want to acknowledge that that is okay, because there is an acceleration in the world right now. There's an acceleration in the industry. There's a lot of discussion, a lot of noise around AI replacing you, AI taking over, the robots are coming. We've all heard this. And so I want to acknowledge that. And I also want to offer a different perspective during this time today that is really going to empower you. It is really going to empower you. And I like to say that AI is not replacing anyone. It's not replacing you specifically who are on this call, who are learning this information. It is going to reveal you. And I'm going to explain more what I mean by that. But when I say it's revealing you, it means that it is calling you to bring your gifts to the world right now. So right now, today, it is February 24th, 2026. AI is the slowest it will ever be. It is the most expensive it will ever be. And it is the least capable it will ever be. And the question is not whether this is going to change your life. The question is, how are you going to lead that change in your own life? How are you going to lead that change in your own life? And when we look in the world at history, when we look in what disruption creates, we are in a disruptive era right now. We all feel that there is a disruption happening. When disruption comes, it creates two responses in the world. Number one, fear. Number two, creation. And so by being in this room today, you are a part of the creation. You are making a decision to create in disruption. And those that create in disruption are the ones that are the leaders in their industry. They are the ones that are producing new concepts, new solutions that everyone's going to benefit from. And that takes courage, yes. But I think if you're in this room today, it's because you know and also believe that you are a creator and that it is time for you to step into bringing that into the world. So I would just love to hear in the chat a yes, if you know that is true for you. I get goosebumps when I say that you are a creator and that you are here to bring something different, helpful, supportive, new to the world today, because the world is going to need you more than ever. So I want to really tap into, I love it, Cindy. Heck yes. Yeah. I love it. I want to tap into that energy a little bit as we continue this learning right off the bat. So, when we think about the world that we're stepping into, and I'm going to give you some of the trends, some of the new things that have been opening up, because I want you to be so aware of it so that you can see and understand the opportunity in the world today. I want you to imagine a world where all of your mundane tasks, all of your repetitive tasks, all of the tasks that are below your highest and best gift, all of them are covered. And you have the opportunity and the time to bring forward what you, only you, Lauren, Danielle, Christy, only what you are meant to bring to the world. What are you doing? What are you doing? If you had the time and the ability and the team and the tech and the automations to bring forward only what you could do in this world, what would you be doing? And if you know that answer, I want you to type in the chat. If you know that answer, I want you to type in the chat. If you're like, oh my gosh, I have never thought of this before, that is a big question. I want you to think about, what would you stop doing? What would you let go of? What would you release? And what would you feel like you had time for in your life? And like Elise said, she's running a multi-million-dollar business with 3 kiddos, and she has a level of ease and she has a level of spaciousness and a level of time. I know so many women who are deciding to homeschool their kiddos, to launch their businesses, to scale their businesses. And where we are in the world right now, you have more ability than ever before, ever before. So type it in the chat if you know one thing you would stop doing, just one. What would you stop doing if everything was handled for you, if everything could be all of those mundane tasks? And ultimately, who would you be because of that? Who would you be because of that? And I know that's a big question. It's a meaty question. We're going to dive into even further around that. But I want to really share with you what is actually changing in the world today. And so, what the industry experts, the business experts are calling this is the compression era. It's where software is built in hours, not years. AI is writing code that only engineers and software experts could write previously. It's writing code in minutes. There is corporate restructuring happening. We're seeing a lot of that in the news and in the media. And intellectual property is becoming leverage, it is becoming power. And so this is going to bring forward what we would call a wealth divide. And the divide isn't the haves and have nots. It's the divide of AI is working for you or AI is working for your employer. It is you owning your intellectual property and being the voice and being the teacher, being the leader, and AI doing that for you for someone else. And so it's a choice in this moment. And if any of you are thinking right now, like, oh my gosh, like I haven't been working with AI for the last 4 years, you're not behind. You are not behind. You're right on time. And what we've seen in the last 2 cohorts of what the women have done within that energy is profound. It is profound what women have created. And so the wealth divide will not be intelligence, because intelligence we have accessible to us on our phones, in our pockets at all times. We have intelligence right here, infinite. The wealth will be the ownership of that intelligence and the system that we created. And so that really is a calling for each of you to really, again, answer that question of, who am I and what is the gift that I am bringing into the world right now? The second thing that's really changing right now is the human advantage. So as the machines are optimizing systems, as the computers are optimizing, humans are elevating to meaning. AI cannot bring meaning. AI is not sentient. AI does not have emotions. Humans get to elevate into bringing meaning to the world and into the future. So if you are in the coaching world, if you're in the consulting world, if you're in the service world, if you are in in healthcare. This is such a beautiful time because you get to elevate to bringing meaning to the world. Trust, discernment, identity, leadership are becoming premium assets. And live events, community, and embodiment of infinite intelligence, embodiment of intelligence is really the value. And I can't say this enough, but trust and authenticity, stepping into your own divine knowing and your own divine destiny of who you're meant to be, that is the purpose of the human advantage right now. That is where you bring the advantage. And so one of the things that I think is really important to think about as we move into this next era, more we are going to experience more change in the next 5 years than the world has experienced in the last 100. We are going to experience more change in the next 5 years. We're going to have systems disrupted. We're going to have so many things change in the next 5 years, more so in the last 100. And so my question when I was in my last event was what will humans need? What will humans need? And when we know that, that's how we know we can provide value. We can bring our gifts to the world when we know what humans are going to need. And so one of the first things they're going to need is nervous system and leadership regulation. Nervous system and leadership regulation. You are seeing a lot of things in the media. Each of you here today, I know has a different message. And your message is not based on fear. It is not based on scarcity. And so when AI is going to accelerate everything, human beings are going to need to learn how to stay calm enough to make really powerful decisions, to hold uncertainty, to lead teams through disruption. This is the number one speaking event that I'm being asked to do right now is how can you help my team through this change? How can you help their brains through this change? How can you help their nervous systems through this change? We're going to need to help humans stay calm enough to not spiral into any doom or any distraction or any fear-based thinking. And so that is a lane that each of you, I know in your own way, in your own right, can bring forward. The second thing that human beings are going to need is identity and purpose. Again, who am I in this AI era? Who am I when my most valuable time and energy is not in doing? It's in being and it's embodying. So really the question is, what am I here to do? What do I create when I'm not needed for tasks? And what does success mean now? Again, each of you learning and figuring that on your own, but then helping others to do the exact same thing is bringing that identity and purpose. The third thing is discernment. The internet is already flooded with AI content, advice, persuasion, experts. What we get to see now is people paying premium for someone who can help them decide what matters, what's true, and what's aligned. So it's bringing again in your own expertise, your own energy on helping people sift through the noise. Sift through the noise. There's going to be so much information. We need people to be able to help sift through that noise. The fourth thing is human trust, connection, and belonging. Bringing in events, communities, real intimacy. These things are going to become even more valuable as the world becomes louder and certain things become a little bit more synthetic. And so all of the gifts that all of you are bringing into the world right now, they become more and more valuable. And then the fifth thing is ownership and your own monetization structures. So turning AI and your thought leadership and your brilliance and your expertise into your asset. So this is where you get to build your own AI. You get to build a clone, you get to build your agents. So this is what I see specifically in the world right now, a huge benefit for women in business, because it's allowing you to remove a lot of the tasks or the over efforting or the things that may have bogged you down in the past to align with your higher and best purpose. Again, if you were only doing what you were meant to do in this world, what would that be? And I see some really beautiful answers in the chat of restart my luxury jewelry business. I love this. Operated a business owner, embrace motherhood. I'd be coaching more. You know, ladies, like this is something that I really want you to trust in yourself. Is when I ask that question, the first answer is likely the truest one. And everything from that is just a negotiation. So this is where we're going to step into talking more deeply about that identity. And Elise, I'm going to hand this over to you to step into that.
This is so fun. I love seeing what everyone is sharing in the chat. And I think, I really wanted to be present with the group today to feel into what is it that you need to know today? What is it that gets to shift for you if you were to leverage this period, this expansion, this elevation to create your next quantum leap, whatever that is for you? Whether you're like, man, I retired, but now I want to launch something new, or I'm in corporate, but I feel this call to launch my own business. Or maybe your business is already doing well by many standards, but you want to expand it. As Allison shared earlier, there's two different paths people are going to go down at this point, and it's easy to get caught up in the fear narrative. By the way, that's why I don't watch the news. I don't like it's not going to help you. Please don't do it. If like that immediately you'll get time back. Okay. If you're here for time expansion, stop doing that. It's not going to help you. Don't buy into the fear narrative. But the other opportunity and what I see for all of us is the universe, God, source, whatever language you want to use. I'm very spiritual, so you'll hear me kind of weave that into our programs and our teaching and what we do together. Has given us an invitation to step into our gifts like never before. And if you look at it this way, and if you look at who would I need to become to expand in this moment, to let this actually be the jumping point for my next quantum leap. That's what's being invited for everyone. Do you feel me? Do you all hear me on this? Like, this is a really big moment. It's going to require you to drop the limiting beliefs about who you are, how you make money, how you viewed time previously, but that is all for you. It's inviting an expansion. And so I wanted to weave in, and Allison and I were chatting about this ahead of time. We really wanted to weave in wealth energetics and some money mindset into today because number one, that's part of what we teach in Ease and Abundance with AI, which we'll tell you about towards the end of today. And we've got something really cool for everyone who's here today live. So we'll share about that. But it also, to me, it's very, very important. Money, I heard it said this way once and it stuck with me. Money itself is not the vision. Money is the how of your vision. And I think this is really important. And I used to be someone when I was stuck and struggling financially for 10, when I say struggling, I was doing okay. Like I was making low six figures. So by many people's standpoint, that was probably okay. That was well, but I knew I wanted something bigger. I knew I wanted something greater. When I was stuck at that level though, and no matter how hard I worked, I would literally like get up at 2 a.m. just to try to outwork everyone on my sales team at the time. I mean, it was insane. It was constant overwhelm, hustle energy, behind energy. When I was in that energy, I could never break through. Interesting, right? I was working so hard, but I was stuck financially. Why? It was all in here. It was my belief systems. It was my financial frequency. Each of you has a financial frequency. And what I want to talk today is about actually using this time to leverage the law of compensation and make it work in your favor so that you can bring in more money with ease and expansion this year. And Allison, you said this beautifully earlier. AI is an amplifier, and so is money. They're both amplifiers. So if this season was inviting you to amplify your personal energy, your zone of genius, your creativity, and if that was actually the only way for you to really thrive in this season, what would that look like for you? If that was the eye of the needle, if that was the gateway, if that was the door for you to become more fully yourself, for you to become more unapologetic in your gifts, for you to strip away anything and everything that no longer serves for you. Just like Allison said, what would you stop doing? What would you release? What would you let go of? If that was actually your invitation to step into greater abundance than ever before, wouldn't that be beautiful? And that's where I think we have to release some of the limiting beliefs that money is tied to time. Is it? Is it actually tied to time for everyone? This is where in the program we do a lot of wealth energetics work. There's a difference between a personal truth and a universal truth. So some of you may currently work where you bill hourly or where you make money hourly, where you may be in corporate sales and you have a belief that if I'm not working 12 hours a day, I don't deserve to make more money because this is a lot of times what's taught and ingrained. But is it actually true that money is tied to time for everyone? No. I worked with a billionaire client a few years ago. He makes 20 to 40 million dollars a day. Okay. I want each of you to think about if you have had a limiting belief about making $1 million this year, $10 million this year, $1 billion this year, $500,000 this year, right? Whatever your goal is, what's the difference? It's consciousness. It's consciousness. He tuned into his gifts. This man was a single dad, grew up in a trailer park. He didn't grow up with this belief system, but he got mentored and trained with people who had a higher wealth consciousness than him. All right. So money is not tied to time universally. So part of this, I want you to, here's what we're going to do, because part of this is going to be permission. I want you to think about your revenue or income goal for this year. And I want to invite you to type it in the chat. This is what I love about this community. And sometimes I forget because I'm in it all day long, but I hear from other women. I was at a financial services conference a few months ago and I was speaking there. And one of the women was like, it is so refreshing how you talk about money and you openly share income goals. Like, that doesn't happen outside of this. So here's what I want to say. There's no right or wrong. There's no big or small. Money is just a tool to help you be the fullest expression of you. But I want to invite you to drop your income goal in the chat. I'm going to invite my community to lead because y'all know how this is. Like, not a big deal. Thank you, Amy. Okay, beautiful. So we've got 500,000. You're going to see things all over the map. 5 million, amazing. Thank you. Look at this. 8.8. Love it. Thank you. Keep it going. This is beautiful. Number one, I want you to get present to um, just getting comfortable with verbalizing that and sharing that. 3 million, 500. See, and this is so powerful. Money is meant to serve your fullest expansion and expression. So part of what we do in our community and part of what we'll be doing in this next cohort of Ease and Abundance with AI is really tuning into you in your fullest expression and expansion. How much money is going to support that? What is actually needed to support that? And then how do we attune your wealth consciousness to that level? And that's where we quantum leap. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you all for sharing this. 10 million. Awesome. So here's what I want you to think about. What do you actually think is required for that? What is your brain telling you is required to bring that in? And if we have a belief that money is tied to how much I work, and you feel like you're already working quote unquote hard, your subconscious will say, there's no way, it'll stop you from doing that. This is the beauty of the power of money and belief work that we do in this community. So if you think, okay, maybe I'm making 100 or 250 right now, but I feel like I'm grinding all the time, 24/7, which who in here has had that experience? I had that experience. And like I wanted to make 1 million, but I thought, okay, well, I'm going to have to 10x the amount I work. No way. Like it doesn't matter how much you want the money, your conscious mind wants the money. If you have a belief that you're going to have to grind or hustle, or there's some other limiting belief about what it's going to take for you to get there, you won't do it. All right. You won't do it. So the invitation here for all of us is I want you to really think about what if part of how you got there is you worked half of how much you're working right now? What if you reduced your workload into a third of what you're working right now? And would you allow yourself to do that? Right? This is where we get into some of the deeper wealth energetics work and this is worthiness. One of the things that we teach in this community and that I have learned in my own personal experience is your level of income will never exceed your level of self-worth. And so there is a universal law called the law of compensation that determines how much money you're going to bring in your life or in your business. It has nothing to do with grinding or hustling. Nothing. So the law of compensation is tied to number one, the need for what you do. That's part of what I think is so valuable about what Allison taught here and what she teaches in this program and what we're going to go deeper into in this program is, as you know and follow, the science of getting rich talks about the tide of opportunity. And when it shifts, part of how to be rich and abundant and get even more rich and abundant in that tide shifting is to know where are things going. And to your point, Allison, and you taught a beautiful training for our consultants on this 2 weeks ago, the world is going to be looking for direction, for guidance, and I think you even use the word like generalists, like people who can help people make decisions, who can give them hope, right? Joy. So as you move your gifts and talents in the direction of what the world needs and are willing to show up and be visible for that. So the need for what you do. Number two, how good are you at doing it? Now, here's the thing. This is about you being sold on you. So this is where I love working with clients on removing limiting beliefs about them being great speakers or coaches or mentors or practitioners in their field or whatever they do. What's beautiful, and we see this all the time, when you get sold on you and you believe that you're the best in your space, not from an ego place, but from the energy I have with this is like, I am the best for my ideal clients. And I want each of you to own that right now. I don't care how many other hundreds or thousands of people are out there doing, whether you're a dentist, whether you're a coach, whether you're in software sales, you get sold on you and you're in the belief that I am the very best in the world at what I do for all of my people who I'm meant to serve. Your income will go up. You will attract clients. Who here has had that happen? This is big, and you'll notice like clients start coming in, opportunities start coming in. It shifts. It's amazing how it happens. It's not that you're hustling more, it's that you believe in yourself more. And then finally, how difficult would it be to replace you? How difficult would it be to replace you? I think this is where people have gotten caught up in the fear narrative about AI, but here's what I know. When you lean into your gifts and talents, and there's something that each of you is feeling called to do right now that's bigger than what you were doing before. Give me drop a yes in the chat if you feel this. Like there's something on your heart where you're being called to do it, and it's bigger than what you've done before or what you've let yourself believe. Here is what I want you to know. It is for you. It is for you. And that is the direction you are being called to go right now. And it's going to be an amplifier of who you are and your energy. I'll share this story real quick because this was a beautiful moment for me to anchor into this. So, around this time last year, I was doing some reflection and really, I was about to have our third child. And I was like, what am I being called to do at this point in my life? And really tuning into that. And the phrase kept coming through world thought leader. Now, when that first came through, I cannot tell you how my ego was totally just thrown on a trip because it was your ego can either make you feel bigger or smaller than other people. And my ego said, "Are you kidding me?" It was like, who are I knew that I had a powerful message. I knew that this work changed lives. I knew that. But to actually claim world thought leader felt like I was on some grandiose trip. Like it really did. The things my brain told me about it at that time, but it kept coming through. And as I became available to step into that identity, I had to shift my beliefs and I had to start looking at, okay, others who consider themselves world thought leaders, what did they have to let go of in order to be available to change and to serve as many lives as they do? Because that's really what it's about when you're being called to do that in your own right. How many of you, show of hands, who in here feels this? Like I know some of you, because I'm working with some of you right now, you feel you are being called to much greater thought leadership in your space. I remember I was working with one of my coaches last year and she asked me where I was feeling called to go. And I whispered to her, I was like, I think I'm supposed to be a world thought leader right now. And she told me, she was like, can you say that without apologizing for it? So I claimed it. And what was so beautiful in that, again, this is not ego, like be grandiose. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is what you are being called to do is because there are others who need you to do it. This is the key. This is the distinction. And when I surrendered my ego and I said, okay, yes, immediately an opportunity came in to speak in Dubai, which was so beautiful, which I did about a week and a half ago and brought my 5-year-old son with us. Immediately, an opportunity came in to speak at MIT in India, which was like beautiful. And I wasn't able to pursue it because of the timing. But from that place, when you claim, this is who I am available to be of service, and I'm available to use my gifts and talents and stop hiding and stop shrinking. The universe will reward you for that, but you have to be willing to step into the fullest expression of who you came here to be and stop lying to yourself that you are not who you know you really are. All right. This is really, really important. And so, the law of compensation, if you lean into that in this time, and will teach you how to rewire your financial frequency in this program, will teach you how to set a new baseline, will teach you, and then, of course, how to build the structures to support your vision, which we'll talk about in a little bit. You will thrive. You will prosper. This is really beautiful work. So I want to guide you through just a brief visualization here to really connect with the energy of what's possible for you in this next year, in this beautiful horse year energy and beyond. So I want to invite you to close your eyes and just really ground into this moment. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Another deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And I want you to really bring into your mind's eye right now, just envision whatever that revenue or income goal was for this year, just bring it to mind. Feel into the energy of the number, the expansion of the number. And now I want you to add a 0 to it. And just anything that surfaces with that is fine. Anything that tells you it's not possible, we're going to bless and release. It's a limiting belief. I want you to feel into that energy. A 10x amplification of what you thought was possible. Now I want you to envision your life at that level. In your mind's eye, go to where that's happening right now. And just notice who's around you, who's being served. What is the impact on your children, your partner, your clients, the world? And now I want you to imagine that you're bringing in that amount of money, working half the time you are right now. You are exclusively in your zone of genius. You are only doing the things where you feel in flow state. You are being used in your highest and best service and purpose in the world, which of course means you're making more money. You have a team, both AI and human, who is supporting you. Things are getting done with ease that used to feel hard or clunky. You have unlimited time freedom now. And just notice what you're doing with that. You have twice the available amount of time to pursue your gifts, your passions, to start a new business, to do something new. What are you doing with that extra time? Are you traveling the world? Are you giving back? I want you to just notice that feeling state in your body. Feel your energy expanding right now, out from your heart space, out around your body, out into the room. You are literally expanding your capacity to receive right now. Just in your mind's eye, I want to invite you to repeat to yourself, I'm ready. I am worthy. I am willing. Whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes, come back into this moment. And what I know for sure is whatever showed up for you is because it's for you. This is what I know about our visions, about what comes through. The way that I think about it in my language is that's God showing me where to go next. That one of the things we teach in this community is your desires are green lights. So whatever showed up for you, maybe it was you on a world stage, maybe it was you happily traveling with your grandchildren, maybe it was you starting a new business, doing something philanthropic. I know it stretched the edges of your current self concept, but anything worthwhile does. That's why you're here. So the actual gift in all of this isn't just the doing of those things and the experiencing of those things. And in a moment, you'll hear from some of our beautiful community who's been through this experience before and some of the shifts that have happened for them. The actual gift is who you get to become in that process, to become someone who leads at that level, who receives at that level. And I want you to think about Allison and I were connecting briefly before this call, and we were talking about the ripple effect that we know happens when you follow your intuition and your knowing and you step into your power, whether that's through enrolling in this program, it's you saying yes to your next level vision, you finally deciding to stop playing small. What we see happen, not just in our community, in this community, but then in the lives of partners, husbands, spouses, wives, children, people's lives are changing, marriages are being healed, children are. I had a beautiful member of our community last week text me about her kids are just ascending and quantum leaping, getting new jobs, getting scholarships, and it's because she shifted. That ripple effect and that impact is real when you say yes to that. So, Allison, I'll turn it back over to you. But thank you for that opportunity. And I just, whatever you saw there is meant for you, truly.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I would love to hear just how that felt in the chat. If you could just share an emotion of seeing yourself in that highest way in the work that you're meant to do. And the way that I really look at this is all of those experiences that feel too good to be true. This is something that I have really embodied in the last year. There's a difference in knowing this and thinking about it and embodying it. But it's those moments where you feel, wow, this feels too good to be true. That's actually your truth. That is actually your path. That is actually the place that you're meant to go. It wouldn't feel so good if it wasn't meant for you. And that was one of the biggest conditionings that I was really invited to let go of, stepping into this community, stepping into my own CEO identity of my business and following those glimmers, following that feeling of, wow, this is meant for me. And there are moments on the way, as Elise shared, that you will feel, ooh, like, can it be me? Can this really happen in my life? Can this, maybe it's easy for Elise, or maybe it's easy for Christy, or maybe it's easier for Allison, but can that be true for me? Yes, it can. It 100% can. And it gets to be that way faster and easier the more that you release the resistance to it. And so it's so much, this next era is about trusting yourself. It's about trusting your knowing. It's about trusting your divine destiny and those experiences where you feel this feels so good, so true, so alive. That is the breadcrumb. That is the trail that you get to start to go down. And yes, it is stretchy. Nothing that isn't worthwhile isn't stretchy, but it is the path that you're meant to go down. So I just want to read a couple of things. So yeah, absolutely relaxed, and that surprised me, Laura. Peace, curious, amazing, serene. I was excited, joyful. We get to normalize these emotions in our lives and in our businesses. It gets to be your baseline to be joyful. It gets to be your baseline. And so as we step into this next era, you get to decide what life gets to look like for you. And you get to trust that you have all of the tools. And something I shared with one of my clients the other day was that we don't have to have any weaknesses anymore. If you were to think in your business or in your life, like, oh, I'm really good at writing, but I'm not good at accounting. I'm really good at, organizing my team, but I'm not really good at being creative. We get to have a tool in our lives today that gets to overcome any of those things that allows us to be like Elise said, the truest essence of who we are. We get to be so, so supported. And so before we bring on a couple of guest speakers today who, just like Elise said, it has been so beautiful to watch their expansion and watch the ripple effects in so many women's lives because of this program. And I remember this time last year when Elise and I were like, we should create a program on ease and abundance with AI, a very feminine, really powerful experience where women and men get to really take the knowledge of AI and apply it to their lives and build businesses and build systems that allow them. I had my own moment of, who am I to teach AI? I'm not an engineer. I didn't, graduate from engineering school. But if I wouldn't have said yes, so many people's lives would not have been impacted because of it. We are seeing such a huge ripple effect in our community of women who have stepped into this power and have built things from it. And if I wouldn't have said yes, if I wouldn't have stretched myself, if I wouldn't have elevated my own knowledge to teach, so many people would not have been impacted. And that is the exact same that is true for you right now with your knowing of your vision.
Can I just pause really quick before you use it? And with that, it's so funny that you say, like, who am I to teach? This is what's so beautiful. Who has been impacted in our community already dramatically by Allison's teaching on this? I mean, MIT educated woman who brings a feminine lens to all of this. Like, it's unbelievable. The business, and we'll talk about this in a minute, the businesses that have been built or scaled, the way people have quantum leaped their income, it's transformational. It's like nothing else. So I just want to come full circle on that because the lives that have been changed so far, and we're just moving into our third cohort now, but it's just in the past year, the lives that have been changed and transformed, it's mind blowing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it started with me saying, yes, absolutely. This is something that I'm going to share and teach. So that gets to be true for all of you in your own zone of genius. And so really the work that we're building inside of this is helping each of you become that empowered AI CEO. And that could be the AI empowered CEO of your business, of your lives. And we have two women who've just embodied that so beautifully. But what I mean by that is you become the woman who really owns her gifts in a bigger way, in a more expansive way. You own your data. You understand your own data. You understand your own intellectual property. You automate that low value work so that you can be free to share and give your gifts at a higher level. You know how to protect your creative energy. You build assets, not just income. That is something that we are teaching so much and helping bring forward into so many women's lives is building assets of the future and really using AI for leverage, leveraging your brain, your gifts. As Elise said, I see AI as a mirror to all of your strengths. It's an amplifier for everything that you're teaching. And so if it's okay with all of you, and at least I would love to bring on Laura Dionisio. We would love to have you come in and just share a little bit about your experience, your, what was your business and everything like before you started implementing AI inside of it, and also just some of your biggest mind shifts. So I'll let you start, Laura.
Sure.
Go ahead and
So,
introduce yourself first as well.
okay. Hi, I'm Laura Dionisio. My business is called Lead and Tack, and I focus on career transition and also as an operations partner. And before AI, before taking Allison and Elisa's wonderful course, I was using AI kind of like more for copy, like grammar check, that kind of thing. And what I love about Allison's class is that she's so real and she blends so many different aspects of it because I am an engineer actually with my background. And so that's why I was a little bit skeptical about AI because I'm like, no, I know best. I know the spreadsheet and the systems and all that. And what I love about AI is like it actually gets to be fun a lot more than what I was using it for. My AI, as those in my cohort know, has developed a personality and it's been like an expander. It has called me out it has pushed me in ways. And so I want to talk about, I shared in the chat a little bit earlier that I tend to procrastinate certain things. I didn't even know I was a procrastinator until AI called me out. But to give an idea, like I just had this weird relationship with time that I didn't realize. It was like I didn't think I had enough time to do things. But when I thought about a task like research, like sitting down on my computer, like editing, I was just like, oh, I don't want to do it right now because time is precious. So then I procrastinated and then eventually I would do it and it would take a lot longer than it should have. So when Allison asked me to speak today, I wanted to do like a times lens just to see how much AI has impacted me. Because I'm an engineer, I kind of wanted data to back that up. So to just give you like tangible data, I was surprised by this, Allison, by the way. Like I knew I had really leveraged AI in a way that allowed me to have more time to do things that I loved and like actually relax, which that also was a foreign concept, but I didn't realize how much time I had saved. So just as a small example, like I was doing biweekly newsletters, so twice a month, and weekly podcasts. So before AI, now I was using AI a little bit for copy, things like that, but I didn't really have systems. I didn't, I was doing a lot of things manually. So I was spending about 80 hours a month, which I didn't realize. I'm like, no wonder I was procrastinating. That's a lot of time. I had a full-time corporate job at the time. So keep that in perspective. Once I started implementing the things that Allison taught, not just, I was using primarily chat, but what I love about the course is it allows you to really think beyond that and to think about like what systems for my business specifically would work. So I was using different AI systems, and this is crazy, y'all. First of all, I started doing weekly newsletters instead of bi-weekly. Okay. So it was 80 hours a month. After I had all the systems in place, after I generated SOPs, because I now have a VA so that she can do the editing for me in my brand voice and all that, it went down to 28 hours a month. I did not realize that I cut it like more than half and I was doing more, which is kind of insane. And what I also love is I didn't just use AI in my business, although that was primarily why I joined. It was also like, how can I use this in my personal life? So I love traveling. I love going on vacations. And as much as I am a planner, I don't like actually to plan, like the idea of research, because this is the thing, I'm very specific about like the kind of information I want. I want to be prepared when I travel, not a surprise engineer, right? But like I want to do pre-research. I want to know like which museums are open when, that kind of thing, so that by the time I get to the destination, I can pick and choose. Well, this used to take me 3 to 4 hours just to research and put it in a specific travel itinerary format. Because yes, I am that person. The other day, because I'm planning a trip now in the summer, going with my partner, and he was like, "Oh, like which countries or which cities in Germany do you want to go?" Like, I was in bed, y'all, typing with chat, 10 minutes. 10 minutes. This would have taken me 3 to 4 hours. So then what did I do? I went back to bed. So it just saved me so much time. And again, like my chat has now has a personality. It's a lot of fun now. And then the third thing I want to share is something I didn't realize what an impact AI would have, not just on me. I share this with Allison and Elise offline, but I have used it with my clients now, specifically for those that are going through career transition. I'm thinking of a client right now where she came from a foreign country, had 20 years of experience, but being here in the US, like her mindset was kind of like, I need to start from the beginning, etc. So, and this is what I love about the way Allison and Elise teaches AI, that it really doesn't replace you. So I'm still there as a coach. I'm still there to help with the mindset. And AI was able to help me basically use our meeting transcript. And then I taught her how to use ChatGPT to view her experience differently. So not only did I give her the chat prompts so that she could see how easy it is, it got to the point where the other day she literally told me, "Oh, I was talking to a friend about AI and I was teaching her how to use it. And I was teaching her how to view applying for jobs and updating her resume." And so, like, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. Like, the impact, not just to my personal life, not just the ease with me or me working with my VA, but with my clients. Not only am I helping them by giving like specific chat prompts or teaching? But because of the way I was taught, I was also taught to kind of teach them the principles so that they then in turn can teach other people.
Can I mirror something to you really quick too? And I know we've got just a few minutes here. But Laura, what's so cool to hear you share all of this. So you are also one of our $1 million business private clients as well. And so it's been so beautiful to see your journey in that. And you are a woman who has left your corporate job in the past year, left
Mhm.
something that was no longer aligned, went full time into your business. I've seen you and we've seen you really lock into your passion and your talents and your zone of genius greater than ever before. Create time freedom. I know it's like we don't have time. That's ironic, but because of how much we want to cover today, we're not going to get really into it. But the time spaciousness you've created in your own life and the way that you live now is so beautiful. And so I just want to mirror those things back to you because sometimes we forget when we're in it, like, oh my gosh, I've also done this, this, and this. And you're just like, you're at the start of this rocket ship energy. It's going to be so beautiful to see what comes as you continue to grow and build. But it's just amazing. So it's like I can't let her speak without sharing those things because
Mhm.
minor details that are really incredible.
Oh my gosh, yes. It's been so much fun to watch you go through this program too, Laura. And like as an engineer, learn how to build systems in your own business and really amplify it. And that's something that we have inside of the community is a Marco Polo where we're sharing use cases every single day. And Laura was in there just sharing so many things. And that's the beauty of AI is it's infinite. Like the amount of ways we can use this to change our lives is infinite. And the training really is on the way that you think about it and how you're implementing it and how you're utilizing it inside of your day-to-day business. So thank you so much for sharing that. And at least you want to tee up our next speaker. I feel like that would be a
Yes. Where is Christy? Hold on. I saw you.
I'm
And
here.
there you are. Oh my gosh. I met this beautiful woman almost 2 years ago now. Is that
Hmm.
right? At a
Yes.
mastermind. Your energy, it was funny because we didn't talk too much there, but you know how you meet someone and it's like you can feel their energy. You had this like wow factor, this it factor, and I could tell, and you were kind of like, I could feel it. The room was drawn to you, people were attracted to you. And so we ended up connecting after the fact, and you enrolled in private coaching in our community and are a certified consultant now as well. And I love going through the first cohort of Ease and Abundance with you because I would love looking at your reactions to things that were being taught because you could tell how transformational it was. But you are someone who has embodied this material, who has used it to quantumly, not just your own life, but others, all of your clients as well. So
Mhm.
I'll let you, if you want to share just a little bit more about who you are, what brought you into this material, and then just any of your biggest takeaways from Ease and Abundance with the group, that would be amazing.
Yes. Hi, everyone. Thank you, Elise. I'm Christy Civilier, and I was fortunate enough to sit right next to Allison a little over a year ago when Allison wasn't the Allison she was today, although fabulous. When she says she's quantum leaped, it was like I get chills thinking about it because she really leaned in and we were sitting next to each other and she was taking a picture of her food. And I go, "What are you doing?" And she goes, "Oh, I'm putting this into Chat GPT and it's giving me my macros. So I'm eating the right amount of protein." And I'm going, "What?" And then she goes, "Yeah," she goes, "Download it onto your phone." So I'm downloading it and she's like, "Okay, say this to it and then you can get started." And I'm like, "Wait, what is all this?" I've heard of ChatGPT, I heard of AI, had no idea what it was. So I'm very grateful because I never had the fear factor around it because immediately to what Elise said, we just automatically changed directions. She goes, "Ladies, why don't we write our bio? Ladies, why don't we do this?" And we're all just like, we couldn't believe it. Some of us couldn't get the app downloaded. She's walking around. And within weeks, they started the program, and my introduction to it was just, again, like Elise said, it was so eye-opening and just alarming that my life could become so easy, because right now I'm still in corporate America. I use it there all day. And when I first started, my leader would always say, Christy, what are you doing using AI? Like really chastising. I just let it go. I said to him, I said, Wade, if you don't start using it, I said, it's going to surpass you. He publicly apologized to me at SKO, stating how sorry he was because now we're an AI first company and they are trying to teach the sales leaders how to use AI. But more importantly, to Elisa's point, I also coach for a company that I absolutely love. And that's how Elise and I met. I'm probably coaching on top of working a corporate job right now, about 40 to 50 hours a month. And I have time for my two teens, going to lacrosse, doing everything. And to Allison's point, her teaching me has allowed me to teach my team and my coaching clients how to use it to accelerate where they want to go in the program. So if honestly you have not really dove into AI, now is the perfect time, because both Elise and Allison just bring it in and it's so easy to use and it's so non-intimidating. Within the first class, you'll be like, I can't wait for the next week. I mean, those classes every week were like the highlight of every day. Like it just, we learned something new every week and we'd all come back together and just have expanded 10x in a week. So I cannot thank you both enough. And to anyone that has any questions, I would not hesitate. It has been life changing.
Thank you so much, Christy, for sharing that. And I just like remember after I think it was like our second class, you like came on to the Zoom like screaming. You're like, I cannot believe this. And just the gold that you brought forward with AI, like I said, it's an amplifier. And so the way we teach it, it amplifies each and every one of your gifts. And so if you can imagine, I'm sure you can all feel Christy's energy just from, if you haven't met her, meeting her now briefly, she has such a powerful energy. And so when she mastered the use of AI, it just amplified, and everything she brought forward was so powerful. And that's really our goal within these cohorts and in this community. And specifically in this next one that we've built with wealth, it's being able to amplify your wealth. And Christy, I love what you said to your point of you missed the fear, because we started at a time where there really wasn't that much discussion around it. And so education and empowerment of self is what overrides any fear. And that is one of the goals within this community, is that we bring a different lens and a different language and a different perspective to the changes that are happening in the world. Are they happening? Yes. Are they happening fast? Absolutely. Do you get to be a leader inside of them? 100%. When you're empowered, when you know how to move through this information. So Elise, I'll bring it back over to you and then we can.
Yeah. It's so fun just to hear this. And I so appreciate both Laura and Christy for sharing. And then we've got other members of the community here who have been through this program as well. And so we love each of you. If you've had a transformation or a shift, please feel free to drop it in the chat, or just, I saw that. I love the applause going up, City. So it's beautiful, because what has happened is this has become a community of, it is a lot of women, but it's also amazing men. I want to be really clear. This is for everyone who are supporting each other. And there's a powerful element of culture that I see in our community where, and again, this is like, I'm here 24/7, so it feels natural to me. But what I hear from others when they first come into our community is like, wow, I have never felt so much support in either growing my business, 10xing my sales, like going for what I really want in my life. And that's something that I think is more important than ever. Having that community, having that group that's cheering for you that you're kind of on the same journey with, and to see how many of you have grown together and ascended together, launched new businesses, left jobs that were no longer aligned, stepping into greater thought leadership, greater opportunities than ever before. Again, it's such a cool group in our community, everything from top sales leaders, B2B, software, tech, to entrepreneurs, coaches, dental. I mean, you name it, like healthcare. We have such a beautiful representation in our group. We have people who are really heavily immersed in AI, who use the program to go way deeper. We have people who, like Christy said, we're trying to figure out, how do I download this app and what do I do with it? Who are some of them later in life or later in their journey. And that's what I want to say to that. Allison, you said this before, but I think this is so important. It is not too late. Like, really, things are just getting started. And what I have learned in my own life is there is a reason you are here right now. Divine timing, when you are brought to something, when you're brought into our community, into our energy right here, it is for a reason and for a purpose. It is not by accident, it's not by mistake. And so I want to just invite you to really trust that as you hear this, and as you maybe hear yourself mirrored in different stories, or you hear about other people 10xing, like doubling income, working fewer hours. It is very, very, very available, and it's happening commonly in our community. And we're excited to bring that opportunity to you. So we want to take a few minutes. And number one, I would just say, drop a 1 in the chat if you learned something new today. If you were like, oh my gosh, like I shifted. I think even just from what Allison shared about where things are going and how to harness this, it is an opportunity, right? How to harness this. This is a transformational moment. And so we're going to take a minute and share about how you can go deeper into this. If you feel like you shifted today, you learned something new today, you opened your mind and your perspective today, there is the opportunity for you to have a beautiful container to expand, so that 90 days from now, you are a different person. You're taking everything you love with you, but the things that feel hard, the things that feel limiting, the things that feel like time sucks, time drains, those are removed. You have the opportunity for a dramatically different business and life in a very short amount of time with what we're going to be doing. And so, Allison, I want to invite you. So, we'll talk about what's coming up in the program and how to get involved. And we do have something that is literally today. We wanted to honor you, all of you who were here live, with a very special offer on the program that we're rolling out. We're going to share that today. So, stay on, because we're offering it live for you today. But I think what would be valuable to start is, from your perspective, Allison, what is different from someone who joins us in this next cohort of Ease and Abundance with AI versus other programs, versus I'm just going to try to figure this out on my own, right? Because there's all different ways people are doing this right now. So what do you see as a co-creator of this and facilitator of this as being different?
Yeah, 100%. I would say like a lot of the AI courses right now, one, they're very masculine. They are talking about tech tools, they are talking about just how to do the work, which as a woman in business, as you know, anyone in business, the most important piece of your success is how to think about this work. So when we look at success, 20% is the systems. It's going to be the AI tool that you're using. It's going to be, you know, the product that we're building. 80% is about your psychology and the way that you think about it. And so as an executive coach, one of the things that we've done, and with the work in the She Self community and all of Lisa's expertise, we've gone way back in the sense of really, really honing in, who are you when you're using this? What are your gifts? What matters to you? What do you desire? How do you want to feel? What do you want to bring in? And we reverse engineer the tools that you're going to use along the way. And so instead of just thinking, here's a tool, here's a tool, here's a tool, you can sit on YouTube for the next, 3 years and not consume the information that you need to learn right now with AI. But what we do is we bring it so intentionally. And so I think anyone that was in the program would be able to say like how each lesson was built on each other to help you go deep, to go to the most important pieces, to go forward. And along the way of learning the tools, you build the identity of the CEO that is AI enabled. I think that's one of the biggest differentiators about what we teach in this community is identity first, is thinking the way that this world is being shaped right now and being able to apply that in your own unique way. Like I said, at every single day, we had people come forward and share what they were using AI for. And what it did was allow people to really self express inside of it. So they learned the tools, they learned the tactics, they learned the safety, they learned the things to make sure that they're looking out for in terms of parameters and guardrails. But then we opened it up so that really you could pull in all of your creativity. So I think that's one of the things that's very, very different is that there is a strong feminine lens. There's a strong wealth energetics lens. There's a strong spiritual lens. And we teach you how to be the person who is AI enabled, which I think is the most powerful thing to do right now.
I think that's part of the magic of this because someone could go and get all the right tools, but if you're in an energy of hustle, competition, lack, scarcity, because AI is an amplifier, you're going to feel an amplification of that. And so there's a method that we teach in the community and my other programs where it's called the four quadrants of quantum sales growth. And it's what I personally use to turn my annual income into my monthly income, and our clients use it to quantum leap all the time. We intentionally weave all of those pillars into this. What I want you to do is think about, you can have it anyway. You literally wave a magic wand. There's no limits. What would you love in the next 90 days? If you could have it anyway in your life, in your business, and even just take a minute and tune into this. Your dream life is happening. Your dream business is happening. Again, there are no limits here. We have had so many in the community, myself included, double, triple, 10x, do things that other people would say are not possible because of the foundational teaching that we're going to start you with on how to become a match for what you want. So in life and business, we don't get what we want, we get what we are. So that 90-day vision, maybe you're 10xing your business revenue. Maybe you're out of corporate and your business is super successful. Maybe you bought a new Lamborghini, right? Just think about, what is it that you would love? Where we're going to start with you is, who do you need to be for that to feel natural and normal for you? So that's belief system rewiring, that's identity calibration, that's nervous system rewiring. All of that is included in here because we want to teach you the tools to accelerate your life and your business from an energy of capacity where it feels normal to receive $100,000 in a week or a day or an hour or a moment, if that's part of your goal, where you can actually have and hold that, where that feels natural, right? All the beautiful goals that were shared in the chat earlier, 500,000 this year, 1 million, 5 million, 10 million, and beyond. We want to normalize and stabilize that wealth frequency and that identity. And then from that place, Allison is going to teach you all of the tools to accelerate the things that would have taken you a lot of time previously. There is an element of action in quantum leaping, but it's the energy you're in when you're taking the action that really makes the difference. And some of you who are in here live today, I know you know this because you've had this experience. I was talking to one of you last week and you're like, I get it, finally, I get it, which is so beautiful. Things will speed up in your life, in your business dramatically when you learn and implement this. And Allison, I'll have you share in a minute about what we're going to be taking everyone through over the next 12 weeks or this next 90 days. But this is going to be an amplifier and accelerator. And what I want you to think about too, this is just so fun before Allison shares is, Laura, I didn't do the exact math on how many hours a month you're saving, but I feel like it's somewhere in the like 50 something plus range right now with what you've learned from what you shared before. It went from what, 80 to 28, is that right? Give or take. So I want you to think about, in 90 days, dramatically accelerating your income and your revenue while also dramatically increasing your time freedom. what would that look like for you? Because that's what we're doing here. So Allison, do you want to share a little bit about the path that we're going to be taking people on and what they can expect?
Yes, absolutely. And one of the cool things about this third cohort that we have is that you get access to cohorts 1 and 2, which you'll learn any basics, any fundamentals that you're like, wait a second, like I haven't really dove into this work yet, but you'll get to go through cohorts 1 and 2. Cohort 1 was into AI fundamentals and identity creation, and the cohort 2 was about business building. So you'll have so much to really like lean into throughout this. And then this third cohort that we're teaching, we are going to be really working on identity and nervous system. So the abundance mindset, wealth calibration, the leadership state that you get to be in through all of the learning. So that's going to be really like a through line throughout the entire program. And really how to really empower and prepare yourself through rapid change, because you get to be the creator of that change in your life right now, and you get to support others around you as the world continues to shift and evolve. So that's going to be one of our pillars. The second pillar is going to be the AI systems. So I think a lot of the women in our last cohort, they were like, oh my gosh, I realized systems are really sexy. So we bring in this really, beautiful masculine container of building systems inside of your life, your business, your work, your corporate role, wherever you really get to lean into a little bit more ease. We're creating systems. So marketing, sales, operations, internal documentation, prompt libraries, and specifically team leverage. We're also going to be looking at creating a clone and agents to be able to support you inside of your business. The other thing I'm getting a lot of questions on is how do I manage a team with AI? We're going to be talking about that. So protect your privacy while still giving the language and the context and all the things that you need to give your teams in order to work and support you. We go through that. We're going to be building some asset creation for you. So how are we building your digital IP, your offers, your thought leadership, and some AI employees? And then the fourth piece is really leaning into community, is how do we support each other inside of this growth? So I think that's one of the biggest things that the ladies that have gone through this program can attest to, is just the community of, the world is changing so quickly. I think AI is getting 300% stronger every month. And so the tools are going to change. The opportunities are going to change. Things are going to continue to evolve. But what I really want to empower each of you to do and understand is to be that CEO, that AI enabled CEO throughout it. So that community is so helpful because it mirrors back to you what everyone is learning and holding themselves accountable for in the 90 days.
This is great. And I see questions coming through in the chat. So this is great. So if you have a question on the program, we'll talk a little bit about how to get involved. Like I said, we do have a today only for all of you, and we'll share links in the chat in just a minute here. But I want to just ask, so if you have questions on anything, please type it in the chat. We'll also share a link if you want to book a call with us this week to talk through it. But Athena was asking, does the course teach how to build agents to help with automations for LinkedIn? So it sounds like, so some of this, Allison's teaching this part. So I think so for what you said.
Yeah.
Did you just answer that?
Yeah, we are going to have
Okay.
agent building. Yeah.
Amazing. Which is really fun. So what's fun about this is, I get to bring a lot of the wealth consciousness and identity work, and even just sitting in on these calls, like I learn so much that grows and scales my business too. So that's fun and that's exciting and that's new for this cohort. Plus you'll get, like Allison said, the first two cohorts immediately upon registering. So if today you're like, oh my gosh, I'm ready, the 90 days kicks off March 11th, but you'll get access to the first two cohorts we already created upon enrollment. So you can be diving in, getting like your master's in this ahead of time, not required, optional. You can start anywhere, but you get access immediately to those two. And then we kick off March 11th. So we can just monitor the chat for any other questions that come through. So I'll talk a little bit here about how to get involved, what it is, how to know if it's for you. So it is a 90-day mastermind. We kick off March 11th. We have weekly live calls. They are recorded. So if you cannot make it live, all good. You get the recording, you get the replay. Like we said, when you enroll, automatically you get the recordings from the past two cohorts that we led. you will have so many transformations. Even if you just watch like a couple of hours of those between now and March 11th, you will be a different person. I know that for sure, based on what is taught. There are literally calls where people build an entire business in 1 hour. I mean, it's that fast. Things move that quickly. The other thing that's really fun about this is we talked about community. So we have a group app that's free to download that everyone connects on. Again, all of this is optional, and it's beautiful in this community to see the friendships that have formed, business partnerships that have formed, people having each other on their podcasts, doing launches together. Again, this is all about acceleration and amplification. So there's a group Marco Polo where you have access to Allison and to me, which just that access alone is tremendously valuable, as well as to connect with each other on what you're doing, what you're building, to share opportunities, use cases, like Allison said. You're also bringing in some cool guest experts, this particular cohort. And I don't know if you want to speak to that for a minute, but I know you've got some cool things up your sleeve for this group.
Yeah, I'm going to be bringing in a data protection specialist from IBM. She's amazing. She's going to come in and just talk about like the future of your own data protection. How do you build in a secure environment? We're going to bring in someone who is a AI agent creator. So she builds AI agents for large corporations. She's going to share that. And then a really incredible woman who has built a full AI software, has scaled it, is launching it all over the world right now, and just like see as examples of what is possible in this AI space. So we're going to have some really, really cool experts this time.
We are also going to have a really beautiful event for everyone that you're going to get to be a part of. And we'll share more details once you're enrolled, but it is going to be in a beautiful location out in California. Um, and it's going to be in the next 90 days. And it's going to, what I find is in those events, so you'll have a free ticket to come to the event. What will be built and created in that time will be life-changing, as well as the connections. So I want to reiterate, this is for everyone. This is for women, men. We bring a feminine energy lens to this, and feminine energy is really flow. So if this is speaking to you, I don't care what your gender is, I don't care how you identify. This is about building and scaling and being available to expand dramatically and quickly in your life from an energy of flow, from an energy of ease, which is really what this is about. So you have an event ticket included. And then we also do, this is something really valuable that Allison, I love you that you do on every call, is there's prompts that go along with each training that you can keep and use down the road. So when I say that, what do we mean by a prompt, Allison, for someone who's brand new and is like, what am I going to use these prompts for down the road? If you just want to take a minute and share how someone would use that.
Yeah, it's the specific language that you would communicate with your AI with, whether that's ChatGPT, Gemini, like it doesn't really matter which LLM, your large language model that you're using. These AI prompts are specifically designed in a way that will get you the best result. So we include that in every single lesson. We have people take those AI prompts, make them theirs, use them for different things. They're yours, but they're all designed in a way that is really, really powerful to allow for you to get the best outcome.
Yeah. And you have those. So you can use that. That's something that's been really powerful for both for myself going through this and then for some of the other participants as well. You can use that now to build out your business, your marketing, your sales systems, et cetera. And then down the road for something new, because again, you're going to create more time here to create more things. And I love just seeing in the chat, this is so beautiful with Laura, the community aspect, and you are such a big part of that. You are such a big part of that. I know you're going to be with us in this next cohort, which we're so excited for. And Cindy, we don't want to do life without you. We love you. That's what's fun about this. You build this, not only a powerhouse business or sales career, but you have this amazing community for life that you're part of. So, like I said, we have something really special today for everyone here live. And here's what I think about when I think about investing in myself. The moment that you choose you are worthy of investing in at a new level is when you transform. So there's going to be two different paths that people go on from here. We're not here to tell you what to do. Truly, I want you to tune into what does the highest and best version of me do this year? for what I saw in that vision, for what I'm calling in the next 90 days, how does she decide? How does he decide? Because from here, you've really got one of two paths. You can say, this was beautiful, and now I'm going to go back to life as it was, which is fine if that's what you choose to do. And there are some of you who are sitting here and you're ready for more. And what really shifts things is when you realize no one is going to come tell you that it's time or that you're good enough or that you're worthy. It's when you decide yourself, I am worthy of expanding like never before in this next season. I'm worthy of getting an extra 20 hours back a month, a week into my life. Who am I at that level? How am I a different mom to my kids, partner to my spouse, my boyfriend, my girlfriend? How am I showing up differently in my business, in my life, with my clients with this information? How much more value am I able to bring to the marketplace? And that's part of wealth acceleration right now. And part of what we're going to be working on in this next 90 days is helping you amplify the value that you bring to the marketplace, because that is part of quantum leaping your income and your revenue. And so, Allison, I was thinking about how much you and I have probably paid for coaching at this point. I mean, upward like a million, give or take, based on what we've both invested in ourselves
Yeah.
in the past few years. You studying under some of the top mentors in the world. You're studying right now under some of the top mentors in the world with AI, wealth, et cetera. I would look at what would be worth it for me? What would I invest to be unshakable right now in my business? If I was going to have the opportunity to double, triple, 10x, 100x my income, go from where I am to where I want to be, to do it in less time, what is that worth? What is that worth? And so for this program, to me, it's a no-brainer, regardless of whether you invest with our today only rate or not. But it's you are getting wealth amplification, you're getting identity alignment with your highest and best self, and you're getting the systems and tools that are going to help you dramatically grow your business, not just this year or beyond. And so the program itself paid in full is 8888, 8,888. We also have a payment plan if that feels more accessible to you. That's 3333 a month. Now, again, I want you to think about if I bring in one additional client in the next 90 days, if I sell one more home, if I launch that thing I've been holding back on launching, if I receive 10 hours a week back every single week from here on out, what am I doing with that? Are you writing your book? Are you launching your podcast? Are you having more time with your kids? Because it's not just about money return on investment, it's also about time return on investment. What we wanted to do for everyone for being here live, and again, this is today, this is literally today, is we have a discount code. And Rose, if you can type it in the chat, through tonight at midnight, that will take about $2,000 off of that for you. So it's going to bring it down to 6,999 paid in full. And then the payment plan, it'll be whatever that is, discounted monthly as well. So that is for you today, which is February 24th through midnight Eastern. And then it is complete. We wanted to do that because at this point, you have a knowing. You have a knowing, and you don't need to go ask someone else. You don't need to go ask your partner this or that. You know. And Allison, I'd love for you to speak for a minute about the power of making decisions from your knowing and what that has done for you in your life, because I've seen you do that again and again. When you act from that knowing and you say, what does the best version of me do right now? That is when we quantum leap, and you'll quantum leap even before we kick off. And so the link, yes, thank you, Rose, ai.elisearcher.com/spring. The code is today only to take advantage of that discount. So I would do it right now if it's speaking to you, truly. And again, you can do the payment plan paid in full. But Allison, what has happened in your life when you've taken action from your knowing? I remember even the first time you invested in private with me and like how you made the money back in a week. And it was so cool, but it was stretchy. If you want to speak to any of that, because that's the energy someone gets to be in to
Yeah.
really quantum leap now.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say one of the biggest shifts that I made a little over a year ago was I decided to live with the end in mind. So I thought about the woman who is making $1 million a year, the woman who's making $4 million a year. What is she doing? What is she learning? How is she investing? What is she spending her time on? And that has guided me. I have made a commitment to making decisions that way. And that has allowed me to move and grow so much faster than I otherwise would have. I have taken, I have made decisions. I have quantum leaped my income. I have quantum leaped my lifestyle. I moved to the United States. I moved to Newport Beach, California with the love of my life. And all of that took a decision that I was going to really operate from the end in mind. And any of those moments that felt stretchy or felt, like, is this something that is really meant for me? From the end in mind, it was an absolute yes. It was always an absolute yes. And that trust in myself has led me to grow so quickly, so quickly. And when I think about the value of what this program offers, like, it is in itself, just even the first cohort is a quantum leap. To be able to even just learn those systems, all of those AI prompts, that in itself is a quantum leap. And so to be able to have all three of them, and the live and the community, it really is incredible what happens with this knowledge and information.
Yeah. You will quantum leap in the process of enrolling. It truly, you really will. Um, Athena, dates for the live calls or the live event, or maybe both. So the live calls are Wednesdays at noon Eastern from 12 to 1. The event, we are booking everything right now. I would block April 24th and 25th on your calendar. We're firming everything up. That's like 95%. We're just finalizing dates with venue. But that's going to be the weekend as well that we're doing it. So, and you get the ticket included. You don't have to go, but gosh, I mean, come. Like it's going to be beautiful. We met yesterday to plan out. Was it yesterday? It was yesterday. I feel like I'm in a time warp right now. It was yesterday. There's so much happening right now. Yeah, we met yesterday to plan out some details. And one of the things that I love about how we do events is that it really is about how could we make this a magical experience for you? And how can we surprise and delight and pour into you? And so, yeah, it'll be out in Newport. You'll get details when you register and enroll. We'll keep everyone posted on that. Van, great question. So the payment plan is a 3-payment plan. And again, at the paid in full rate, it's $33.33 for 3 months, but the discount code for today brings it down. I think it's 2,700 something a month, but you can get in with that code for the payment plan for sure. And I'm big on like, do what you need to do to get in. If the paid in full is accessible, do it because it's going to stretch you and you're going to be done with the payments and you'll quantum leap in doing that. And the payment plan is there for a reason. If it makes it more accessible to get in, come join us at that rate. We set it so you save some money on the paid in full. I think that's valuable. But either way is beautiful. And that's what I've seen. We've had members of our community enroll where they're like, oh, even the payment plan is stretchy. How they grow in the process of becoming the person who does that payment plan and the money they make on the back end of that in the energy of, I am unavailable to play small anymore. I am unavailable for excuses. I'm unavailable to not have what I want. There's so much growth in that. There's so much growth in that. Allison, anything that I'm missing or anything you want to share? And again, great questions. If you have a question, this is a time where you can ask either about something we taught today or about the program. This is the time for that. But is there anything else, Allison, that you want to speak to that I didn't mention or that you want to add in for this next group?
Yeah, I think it's the other thing that I really love about this commitment to learning AI is when I decided to teach this, it elevated me to really find and bring the best knowledge in the industry, to really bring like the latest of what's happening, to bring in the things that are going to help accelerate businesses today. And so by deciding to be a part of this, you're committing to learning and you're committing to participating in the AI world in a way that's going to be really, really fun. Like it's very feminine, it's very fun, it's very powerful. And so that I think is one of the most important pieces of it is making that decision. Like I am committing to learning AI. I am committed to implementing AI in my business. And what better way than to join a really aligned community to commit yourself every single week to learn it. And that is really like, I think in this next era of just the empowerment of self, empowerment of business, and to be committed to that like weekly call. That's really one of the reasons why we built the weekly call so that it could grow on itself. You'd have time to implement, you'd have time to ask questions. And that's something that I'm expecting to see a lot more in this cohort is specifically many people are already using it in really big ways. How do we then tailor it or, adapt it? And that's the space where you can ask that question. I've seen so many women in the community like really support each other in building their landing pages in 10 seconds flat, in building an agent, in doing some really incredible things very, very quickly. And I know in 90 days from now, things are going to continue to change and operate. And so the sooner that you can learn this information, the better. The sooner you'll be empowered, the sooner you can create. So
It's so fun. We really did hear that from people. Like when the calls ended with our last cohorts, people are like, "Oh, what do I do?" I'm like, I miss it. So that's part of why we keep it going. We keep the community aspect going here too, because it really is. It's like 1 hour a week to dramatically accelerate your life and your business, and to pour into you during that time. You're serving other people. You're helping other people, whether it's your family, your clients. This is a time to be poured into so that you can be the best version of you in all areas. I wanted to speak to the questions here. This is so good. So, Amy Files, so good to see you. Oh my gosh, I was thinking about you this weekend. I know we were connecting. It was so fun. March 11th is the start date. We will do we'll do a special bonus call as well before then. We always do. We'll share the details for those of you who are enrolling live. So we'll do something fun and exciting even before then for those of you who are enrolling now. More details to come on that, but you'll get something really fun ahead of time too. And then again, you get access to the trainings right away when you enroll from the past cohorts. Van, to your point about booking a call, absolutely. So let's talk about what's next from here. Number one, trust your knowing. If this is speaking to you and you're ready to ascend, go ahead and get enrolled today. This is the best rate we are going to offer this at for this cohort. So use that code live 6999 to get it's almost a $2,000 discount today through midnight Eastern on that program. If you are listening to this and you're like, I have questions, I want to book a call with the team, Allison has opened up her calendar this week, which is beautiful. I'm actually leaving to travel to Florida. And Michelle, you're here on the call. I'm going to see you in a couple of days, which is so fun. So Allison has opened up her calendar. We popped that link in before. So if you have questions, Allison, I don't know if you have times today. I'm guessing not. But if you have questions and you want to book a call, that will let you book a call to talk through everything and to help find the right fit for you. This is not about pressure. This is about alignment. I want to be really clear on that. So we look for what is the best fit and path for you based on where you're at and where you're going and help you move into that. We're here to help support you truly. So that call link, and we'll email it out after as well, but it's here in the chat. That call link is there if you want to book some time to chat. The other thing that I'll say is we have a number of our consultants here. So raise your hand if you're a She Sells certified consultant or you're in the process of getting certified, because there's a number of you here today, which is so beautiful. And you all are amazing, amazing, amazing. If you were invited by a certified consultant, what I want you to do is reach back out to that person directly who invited you, and to say, hey, I want to talk about this. They will set up a 3-way text chat with me, Allison, yourself, and we'll talk through everything and book a call if needed, or sometimes just even texting is great. So they'll help you get in touch with us to talk through questions. Oh my gosh, Athena, congratulations. We are so excited to have you. This is so fun. I love when people are in the energy of just, yes, this is happening. And that's the quantum leap energy. So congratulations, Athena. I was even thinking about you before this. This is going to be transformational. But so yeah, you can book a call with us or reach out directly to the She Sells, make sure it's actually a She Sells certified consultant who invited you, like someone who is in our community. They will help facilitate a conversation with us as well, if that's helpful. So that's it. Why don't we, if beautiful, if there's any other questions, type them in the chat. Otherwise, Allison, I think what we could do is really connect everyone with just a beautiful energy of abundance as we complete the call for today. We have enrollment open until March 10th, and then we kick off. But again, we want to reward you now today for being part of this. So for those of you who are stepping into your next level today, your identity, for those of you who really are ready to ascend, we want to just help you anchor into that energy of abundance, expansion, and what you're calling in. So Allison, do you want to kind of complete and close out today with a beautiful abundance activation for everyone?
Yes. Oh my gosh, let's
Okay.
do that. I would love for each of you to just step back from your computers a little bit and just drop into your bodies, inhaling through your nose, closing your eyes gently, grounding yourself into your seat, feet on your floor, taking a nice deep inhale, exhaling through your mouth, and allowing your heart center to just open to a beautiful feeling of gratitude. Gratitude for bringing you into this experience today. Gratitude for trusting yourself. A gratitude to your knowing that you get to expand on your terms to your highest capacity, to the moments that feel so good and so aligned. Those are your truth. Those moments are your truth. And allowing to feel your heart center just open to your own possibility, to your own power, to your own strength, your own knowing, into your deepest wisdom of trusting yourself. And allow this call, this time together with all of these powerful, powerful humans to amplify you. That you leave this space powerful. You leave this space stronger. You leave this space with the energy of abundance. And a knowing that this world is for you and you get to create anything that you desire inside of it. Place one hand on your heart, another on your belly, feeling the warmth under your palms, feeling the gratitude in your chest, the power in your chest, the abundance all around you. Leave this space with your most powerful energy. And Elise and I just want to thank you and share gratitude for being here, for stepping into your highest self, into your knowing, into your power. This work, the work that you're going to do, is going to change the entire world. Whenever you're ready, you can come back into this space.
Amazing. Thank you. That's what's possible when you fuse masculine and feminine energy. That's what's possible when you say yes to your highest vision, the one that you're ready for now, that the world, God, source, the universe is inviting you to now, because that is what we're being invited to globally, planetarily. And when you have the masculine energy support systems to help create the structure to move the energy forward towards your goals and dreams, it's magic. And hopefully you all felt that today. That's what we're doing in this next 90 days. So thank you all for being here live. We love you. We believe in you. We support you. We'd love to have you join us in this next 90-day expansion. And so again, we'll email out links for everything later this afternoon. If you're watching the replay, um, reach out to us. We would love, love, love to have you. You can email assist@elisearcher.com. My team will help you get connected with resources to help you if you want to get involved in this. And again, it's ai.elisearcher.com/spring for the program. And we can't wait to see who's going to quantum leap with us next, truly. So thank you, Rose, for sharing that in the chat. That's beautiful. All right. Any final closing words, Allison?
I'm just so excited to see so many of you in the next 90 days and just grateful for all of you being here, for our speakers, for Laura, for Christy, for coming in and sharing their experience, for our amazing consultants for being on this call as well. So go and enjoy the rest of your day. And if
All
you
right.
have any questions, please reach out.
Yeah, absolutely. We're here for you. All right. Have an amazing rest of your day. We'll see you all inside the program. Bye.